You've all heard of beef brisket, right? Well, have you ever heard of pork brisket? Well, I've got one. Let me show it to you. Here it is right here. This thing weighs in a total of 1.51 pounds, roughly 1.5 pounds. And Porter Road has these. Porter Road is based in Nashville, Tennessee. They have places that they select all this meat from, all their beef, pork, lamb, chicken, and through various states like Tennessee, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania. It's all pasture raised, it's antibiotic free, it's hormone free. It's some of the best meat that you can find out there, and that's what they're all about. That's what they stand for. So they sent me out this little pork brisket, and I can't wait to look at this thing. But look, if you want to order from Porter Road, I'll have links in the description box. Use my link and I get just a little bit of commission off of that. Helps the channel. So if you want to help the channel out, and if you plan on ordering from them, then use my link. And by the way, here's a really good tip. If you go in there and buy $100 worth of meat, and let me tell you, $100 ain't nothing anymore, right? But if you spend at least $100, you get free shipping. And like this, $21 for that little brisket, 1.5 pounds, $21. But you will not find that hardly anywhere else. You're not going to find it in your supermarket. It is a select cut. They have pork wings, they have pork short ribs, they have things that you're just not going to find elsewhere. They have all kind of things. I encourage you to go over to the website and check them out. All right, let's take a look at this brisket. All right, let me dispose of this. Looks like a little brisket. You can see your flat, you can see the point right here. And I tell you what, I'm not going to do any trimming on this. I'm going to leave the fat. I'm going to leave everything just like you see it here. And I'm going to treat this just like I do most any other pork. And I always use mustard as a binder. Worcestershire sauce makes a good binder. Mustard mixed with Worcestershire sauce makes a good binder. You could use a little bit of oil, or you don't have to use a binder at all. I personally like this mustard. Not only that, we're going to finish this with a Carolina mustard barbecue sauce. So we already got that mustard theme going on. Now what I'm going to do is apply some seasoning. Then I'm going to get this indoors out of these flies and let all this sweat in real good. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now the rub that I'm using, this is PS seasoning. It's Texas barbecue rodeo rub. It's actually made for a beef brisket, but this stuff smells incredible. It's gonna be great on this pork. And I've already got it in a shaker, as you can see right here. Talking about it sweating in, heck, it's already wet. It's looking good. So with that said, what I wanna do now is I'm using the Gateway drum smoker on this. We're getting ready to stoke this fire up and get it ready to go in the drum. Now as you can see, I've got quite a bit of lump charcoal left from my last cook. All I did was cut off the top and lower vents, and that's how much you got left to work with. That's really almost enough. But what I want to do is I'm going to try out today for the first time this little device from Fogo Charcoal. I've got 2 of their lighters in there. And basically what that allows you to do is just kind of bury it. I think it's really intended to go on the bottom, but since I have charcoal in there, that's not going to happen. So I'm going to put it middle ways. We're going to light that up. Right now what we're going to do from there is add in some more of this lump right on top of it. What, there's some big sweet pieces in that bun. Like that's plenty. Matter of fact, when I get through with this cook, I'm gonna have a lot left. All right, now the smoke wood I'm using is hickory. It's not a very big piece of meat, so we don't want to overdo it. I'm just going in with 3 small chunks, and as the fire reaches that, we'll get the smoke. I don't want to get my hands that close because as you can see, we already got fire there. just like that. All right, I've got my diffuser plate I want to put in place. Just like that. I've got a grate. I'm just using one grate. Gonna place it here. Now once I'm gonna put the lid on, come up to heat, I'm gonna give this a good brushing before we go on with the meat. Get our lid on about halfway. Let's check our lower vents. Just barely gonna crack them open. I'm trying to run somewhere no more than 250. 225 would be ideal, but these drum smokers love to run a little hot, more like 275, but we're gonna try this right here. While I'm letting the gateway come up to temp, I wanted to show you what my son's got going on over here. He is doing smoked cream cheese. Now, I actually got to try some of this yesterday for the first time, and it's amazing. It's really good. Now, he's not shooting a video today on this, but he's already got a video shot on how he does it, and that will be the next video. Now, you're an hour in and you just had to rotate them, right?
Yes.
Indirect heat. Okay. And
225 to
you use 2 different
degrees.
seasonings on that. You use the PS seasoning that I used on the brisket.
Yep.
And you use the Bearded Butcher's blend.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Okay. So 2 different rubs, that way we can get 2 different taste experience, but it's amazing what smoked cream cheese tastes like. If you haven't tried it, check out next video. It's really good stuff. I have hit 225 exactly on this drum. More than likely, knowing this drum, it's going to creep up to more around the 250 range, which is plenty fine too. So let me go ahead and take the lid off and get this little miniature brisket on here as fast as I can, because anytime you open the lid on a gateway or any drum smoker for that matter, you're going to spike in temperature, then you got to bring it back down. So here we go. There we go, right there in the middle. Put our lid back on, and we are smoking. We've been going right at 2 hours. I just want to do a real quick temperature check with my instant read from ThermalWorks and see what we're looking like. All right, let's see what we got here. I am reading 160 degrees. It's got a nice color on it. I tell you what, this is not going to take long at all. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it probably get smoked until it hits about 170, get a little bit darker color to it. And then at that point, I'm gonna wrap it in butcher paper, and then I'll bring it back at that point. We're gonna go back on to finish it off until we get it probe tender. It's actually feeling pretty tender right now. Boy, we're gonna be having a fight over that little hunk of meat. All right, so we are at 170 internal. Let's pull this little bad boy off of here. And let's put it on some butcher paper. Little fold down this away. Give us a little fold down this away. Ooh, that's smelling good. You smell that?
Yes, it does.
All right, back on the pit. Now I'm just gonna be checking for probe tenderness. We're probably going to end up somewhere around 205 when it's to where I want it. We'll be back. Been going an hour since I wrapped this in butcher paper, and I just probed it, and I'm reading about 203, 204, 205 in places. And once I got through the paper, it feels really tender. So I think what I'm gonna do at this point is go ahead and unwrap it. And I've got a sauce here. This is a Jackpot Carolina Gold. It's a honey mustard barbecue sauce from PS Seasoning, and I hear this stuff is really good. And you got to remember, this is pork. I would never do that on a beef brisket. I don't use sauce on a beef brisket unless it's like on a sandwich or something like that, maybe, but not just sliced and ate. So anyway, let me go ahead and remove this cover. And I don't care if it spikes in temperature at this point, because we are just about ready to be done here. Ooh, yeah, let that drip off on there. I'll tell you one thing though, it smells incredible. If I was to do like a party with guests and everything, I would probably order about 6 of these. There's plenty of room on this grill, or Weber, or really just about anything to hold about 6 of these. And I would say by the time you slice this, you probably get 2.5 people, you know, out of one little brisket here. But that's a thought. And remember, Porter Road does have these. Is that a beautiful color or what? And that's what I like about butcher paper. Even though it's wrapped, you still continue to develop the color, you still continue to develop the bark, but it does accelerate cooking time. Now, all I really want to do with this is just set the sauce, maybe 10-15 minutes, and we're going to pull it, then we're going to rest it. So the next time you see me, we're going to be slicing into this bad boy. Well, it's still a little hot. It's been resting maybe 10 minutes. It's not a very big piece of meat. And it looks just like a beef brisket, but it's only miniature. There's your flat. You got your little hump here where your point and everything is. Let's just cut down the middle and see if we can see a separation. That's not really the middle, but it'll show us what we're looking for here. Oh yeah, there you go. That would be your point end. You got your fat in between there. There's your, oh, that's juicy too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man. We're gonna have to do this quick. These flies are gonna take us over. And by the way, this cut comes from the pectoral muscle of the pig, the hog, just like it does from a steer. This is an actual brisket of a pig. It's not some cut from ribs and called a brisket. This is an actual brisket. It just happens to be pork. All right, I think we've got enough cut. Tell you what, this is the point end, so I do want to cut a little piece of that. And this point looks super, super juicy. Look at that. Let's start with that. Still a little hot. Well, I kind of screwed that one up, so let's do another one. I want the point right here. Maybe I should lose the gloves. Oh man, dude, come check come check this out. That freaking melted in my mouth. That is super. No, seriously, eat that. That just melted in my mouth.
Oh,
come get in front of the camera.
oh wow.
That's different, ain't it?
Wow.
Woo! Hot dog.
That is good.
That is excellento. Oh my God. All right, let's try some of this flat back here.
Okay, I definitely got to be buying some of that. That is wow.
Man, we nailed the tenderness on this.
I agree.
All right. Oh my God, that's so good. All right, so what's going to happen from here, and I know I got it all over my mouth, and I don't care, but I'm going to wrap this up in foil, bring it inside, let everybody eat. I think the wife has made some sides to go with this, and we're fixing to pig out before these flies devour all of it. Incredible flavor. I've never heard of this cut. That is totally different. That is pork at its finest, I promise you, I assure you. Check out Porter Road, go to the website. They have these in stock. And like I said earlier, if you're going to be feeding more than a few people, I would go for multiple of these. They're $21 a piece, but so well worth it. What an experience. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hope you got something from it. I'm Russ Jones with Smoky Riz BBQ.